Hello, and welcome back. In this one, we are looking at episode 6 of the Demon Sword Master of Excalibur Academy. And yes, believe you me, we will be talking about the finger sucking later in this video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, good for you. Before we get into that though, if you do end up liking this video, please remember to like and subscribe to support this channel. I thank you greatly. Now, in episode 6 here, we finally get the conclusion to this boss battle per se with this wizard guy and Leo. Now, I have my fair share of issues with this episode as well, but I guess there are a few glimpses of light for something that could be good down the line, but I still have my doubts. So at the start here, we find out that I guess we're doing some sort of King Arthur storyline here. He who draws the sword will get unrivaled power, something of that sort, as apparently his hero sword was turned into a demon sword by this goddess Selia. Not Selia, but Selia. These two names are very annoying for me. I wish I would not name people that are instrumental to the story so similarly. But anyways, so I have a lot of questions just regarding Selia, the goddess here, as who is she? I mean, she clearly has a lot of power, more power than Leo or any other on that side of the fence, and I assume more power than any living being, or at least close to it. But who is she? We don't know anything about her at all, and the more she is shown in the anime, the more questions I have of how exactly she came to be. Anyways though, maybe eventually we will get some answers. So of course, at the end of last episode, Selia gets captured, and Leo then goes to save her. But not before he puts up a barrier and sets a few soldiers aside to protect the kids at this homeless shelter, etc. that Selia volunteers at. And it is at this point we find out who the real Sundaru is in this anime show, and it is Leo. Because goddamn dude, I really feel like Leo is channeling this Sundaru feeling here in this episode, being all like, yeah, it's not like I really care about the humans, but, you know, these kids are like the friends of my minions, I guess I have to protect them. Ugh, I guess if I have to. It's like, okay, Leo, okay. If you're gonna be that Sundaru, just let it all out. Let it all out. So, for some reason, somehow, the character with the tracking skills, the data orbs, whatever you want to call them, manages to track Selia to the power plant based on her biosignature, question mark? I mean, I have questions about this, because how are you tracking her with that? Does everyone have like a tracker on them? How are you triangulating these things to an exact spot? I have no idea how that works, but okay, wish you would explain that. But she finds her, and Leo goes to rescue her, because of course he does. And that's when we get a few more comments from the wolf here that, okay, why are you saving these people? Why are you protecting these worthless kids? And Leo tries to come up with some excuses, but in the end, he just admits that, okay, I kind of have taken a liking to them, so I will just protect them, I guess. To which the wolf dog here responds with, that's so like you. Oh, that's just how you've always been, sort of response. Which makes me wonder, okay, has he always been this soft-hearted, even as the Demon King? If so, wouldn't that get in the way of his undead something? I don't know. And I guess it just means he has been a good protective leader when he was the Demon King, so I guess that's fine enough. I did like, though, prior to this, before he goes into the crack here to save Selia, that he comments on his fears that these kids, when they come out of the house and they see him having done this massive damage using these very powerful spells, that they will be afraid of him, that they will, be stricken with fear, as that is what he was used to back in his old life, that even as the hero, people would be stricken with fear that even though I am the good guy here, that amount of power, that amount of potential destructive power will scare anyone and will make them avoid you, etc., etc. I did like that very quick notion that they mentioned there, and if they really evolve more around that and explore that section more, especially with flashbacks and showing him, trying to be a hero, but still seeing people still shun him in a way, or at least not be as warm to him, and how he was maybe struggling in his own way, because no matter how much good he did, he was still looked at with suspicion and fear, and never really able to get that hero's welcome, etc. I doubt they will go into that more, but I think that could be a good thing to do. So after he gets to this power plant, right, he talks to Selia, or he communicates with her using her own communication device, like her earring, whatever. Again, he is using her communication device to talk in the ear of Selia, who is currently captured by these vines, which sounds like a precursor to tentacle prawn, but never mind. But that begs the question of, okay, you are talking to Selia using her own communication device. Does that mean she has two and only one fell off? If she has two communication devices, why does she have two? Is that normal to have two on you at all times in case you lose one? No idea. But if she doesn't have two, and I don't explain any of this, how can he talk to her through her own communication device? Don't know. Is he using some sort of like mental telepathy thing with his minion, as he is the master and she is the minion sort of thing? If that is the case, why does it look exactly like he is talking through the earpiece? I don't know. Who knows? I just find those things very strange, and I don't like it because I don't get things explained to me. Sad times. Anyways, moving on. So Leo just decides to casually take the entire city under his protection, but later says he took the entire humankind under his protection, which begs the question of, okay, so you're just going to protect the entirety of humankind now? How? And just because you did that, you are able to use the sword's power, the demon sword's power, to protect your now own kingdom. I mean, that sounds like it's going to have a lot of ramifications, but okay. But that will stray away from his mission to rebuild a demon army for Goddess Selia, right? Or is he going to use the humans as his new army? Question mark? Don't know. Will they ever really go with this mission he was given 1,000 years ago? Or will he just casually disregard the mission, even though he seems to really have a close connection to Selia? Don't know. At the end of the episode, we do find out and see that the princess or queen or whatever the royalty is on a battleship of some sort on the way to the 7th Assault Garden. And even though the threat is contained, she will still go there to show presence, etc. The normal royal thing to do. And in the preview for episode 7, you guessed it, we have a beach episode. We have finally the beach fan service episode, which is very expected, especially in ecchi-like shows. But that brings back my criticism from a few videos ago, where I talked about, like, okay, clearly they are not animating ecchi well in this show. Clearly they are not prioritizing ecchi, and from what I heard from some people, the ecchi elements have been severely downgraded from what they are in the light novel / manga. If that is the case, and they are actually purposefully moving away from the ecchi elements in this anime adaptation, then why will you include a, I assume, whole episode of beach bikini fan service? I mean, if your goal is to move away from the ecchi elements, at least mostly, again, I'm just hypothesizing that this is the case. If so, can't you just skip this entire chapter or two of this beach scene and beach fan service and instead just move on with the story? Because I have my severe doubts that the story will have any actual developments during this fan service episode. So why even include it then? Unless you want to have the ecchi elements in it, which again brings back to the point of them not doing it properly. So why do it in the first place? And if they are going to spend the entirety of next episode on fan service, or at least a lot of it on fan service and this whole beach setup, then I have to wonder, okay, why was this boss fight only one episode? Like, this entire boss fight felt fairly cheap because, again, you don't get a sense of impact, you don't feel like the stakes are high, you don't really feel the power coming from Leo. I think that instead of having an episode on fan service, you could have just had 2 entire episodes of this boss fight and really get into the details, not drag it out, but add in way more to make it seem way more impactful and engaging, and really have Leo struggle before he, in the end, when he is powerless with all his other abilities, then pull out the sword to deal with this enemy, instead of just doing it in such a slapstick, easy fashion, it felt like. But anyways, who am I to judge, I suppose? I also have another big question of how Selia suddenly just randomly got the hang of her vampire queen powers the exact second she needed to. Like, suddenly she's just like, I can control blood now, I can control my powers now. Even Leo just commenting, I guess you got the hang of your powers, eh? Like, really? Just like that? That simply? That easily? In like a couple seconds time? She casually just came into her element and got control of all her powers? I mean, sure, I assume this is somewhat innate to her now being a vampire queen, and these things will naturally come to her, but just randomly getting the hang of all her powers in this exact moment of need seems a bit easy and lazy, but never mind. I also have to again sort of brag a bit about how none of the characters other than Leo, and even Leo only to some extent, feel proper and feel like a character I care about. Like, I don't care about any character in this show except for Leo, and even Leo is like half-half. I just haven't gotten to know the other characters or gotten engaged enough with the other characters to really have any semblance of caring for them, which is a big issue for me in this show. Mostly because the characters seem pretty one-dimensional overall. Like, they haven't really fleshed them out, mostly, at all. With Selia, yeah, sure, you have her backstory, tragic, all that jazz, but she keeps just going back to this, I have to protect Leo, I have to protect Leo. Like, that's my mission in life, apparently. Like, okay, but what else? Like, what else do you want to do? I feel like they can do way more with that than what they are currently doing. We also get a lot of just cryptic messaging from this wizard guy here, Ezekiel, whatever his name is. We will bring in the dawn of a new age, and also cryptic nonsense per se, or just cryptic messaging of what is going on in the world and what is to come, etc., foreshadowing and what else. But I don't like it when shows do this if they are not going to expand on it. I mean, it's fine for now, but if they just keep things really cryptic like this, I feel or fear they will fall into the trap of, okay, we will create the illusion of depth by simply having the world seem detailed and seem grand and exciting, when in reality it's not, and we're only using cryptic language to not have to ever explain things in detail, which will then poke a lot of holes in our world here and our story. Again, I don't know this is the case, I don't know that's how it's going to turn out, I just have my fears based on the show so far. And of course, at the end of the episode, we have the finger-sucking scene, which I didn't expect to say in this video, but yep, Selia needs her blood after the fight scene, and she needs to suck some blood, okay? Hold your horses. So she just casually starts sucking on Leo's finger in a somewhat questionable fashion. And of course, her dorm mates, the girls, come in to say hello to Leo, and they see Selia sucking on his finger. Now, I cannot be the only one that thought this was a absolute euphemism for sucking on something else. And yes, I know he is technically 10 in this world, so FBI, I am not thinking about any illegal activity here, okay? I swear, don't arrest me. But there's no way that is not a euphemism for something else. Especially with a commentary of like, you know, that sort of activity isn't allowed in the dorms. It's like, okay, we know what you're going for here. We know. But that entire scene was just like, okay. I mean, I did chuckle a bit, so it's fine. But, I don't know, dude. That caught me off guard a bit. But hey, I mean, if you're gonna end an episode in one way or another, ending it with some finger sucking, or, God, did I just say that? Anyways, ending it with some finger sucking is not the worst way to end an episode. So I guess at this point, we will just look forward to the beach and the bikinis and the fan service and the ecchi next episode and have a chill time. I still have my hope that this show will improve, but that hope is dwindling by the hour, or the day, or the week, and the episode. Anyhow, though, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to never miss out on any of my content. If you have any thoughts on the episode itself, or on my video on the episode, feel free to leave all of those in the comment section down below. With all that being said, I hope you have a great day, watch some anime, and have a good time. Bye-bye.